couple of ways. One of those is through the coaching effort. Some of you are familiar with coaching. Sherry is now well on her way to being certified with ICF, the International Coaching Federation, which is kind of the coaching credentialing body. And so she's on her way to do that. We're working on getting other people credentialed in coaching. And if you don't know about coaching, that really is not a top-down approach at all. It's a side-by-side, how can we help each other kind of approach. And one of the realizations we had was some of our best resources and assets here in New Mexico are each other. We could pay big bucks and send people off to training in LA or Atlanta or Chicago, and those are good experiences. Or we pay the big bucks and get the person to come into here. The track record of that is it doesn't seem to sustain very far. So if we can get each other to where we know how to help coach each other, that will be better in the long run. It's also much more efficient money-wise to do it that way. The second thing we're doing for leadership development is aimed primarily at clergy, but it's also spilling into some laity. And that is working with a person named Rebecca Simon Peter with the disc profile. Disc profile is something that's been around a long time, and right now it's owned by Wiley Publishers. And so now you do an online version of the disc profile, which tells you your workplace style. And because all the clergy have done it, or almost all clergy have done it in New Mexico, we can actually compare to one another. And I can go into the system, myeverythingdisc.com, and say, I want to do a comparison report with Jay. What is it about Jay? I mean, how can I work best with Jay? And I'll leave the jokes there. But and it just gives great insight. And part of why we did that is it really pushes clergy toward gaining emotional intelligence. I read an article probably over a year ago now that was about all clergy across the country and across denominations. And it said the number one reason clergy lose their jobs in their churches is they lack emotional intelligence. The lack of emotional intelligence. In other words, they can't work with people. Now, does that strike you as ironic? But so often some of the struggles and power struggles and fights that happen in churches is sometimes it's not as much about the issue itself, it's that people they don't know how to work with each other. And sometimes pastors hardly know themselves, and then they have a hard time knowing how to work with others, especially people who are really different from them. So DISC is all about growing your emotional intelligence so that you can work with others in a more effective, fruitful way. One quickie example, a person I worked with who, so about me, when I'm at work, I tend to be very much about work. If I need to go talk to somebody, I'll pop in the office and I'll say, so did you take care of getting that meeting set up? I mean, that'll be the first thing I say. I don't say hello. I don't say who's, have the Cardinals won yet? I don't say that. I'm doing work. It's work. And I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying that's the way I'm wired. And there was this person that I just seemed to always not quite connect with, and I couldn't figure out why, till I found out that person's profile style was very different than mine. Pretty much opposite. And if I would go in there, and if I would say, how was your weekend? Oh, it's great. I got to see my grandkids. Oh, remind me their ages. Oh, they're 1 and 4. Oh, that's cool. Isn't that the best? Be able to be with. It's just, and after a while, oh, and that meeting, did that get taken care of? And everything's fine. So it's gaining that emotional intelligence that we think is pretty important for clergy. Almost feel like you don't have to say that, but you do today. And then now some of those clergy are getting the profiles done for the leadership of their church, their staff of their church, and it's starting to interestingly filter out in a variety of ways. So we're doing those things for leadership development. And the last thing is on communications, the goal for Vision 2020 is to share stories and connect our people, which is basically communications. So we now have a part-time communications director named Ali Costello, who happens to be sitting right here with the camera. And we're going to work on our communications so that, yeah, you'll get the weekly e-newsletter, but we're going to do more video-based things. There's going to be more connection through Twitter, Facebook, other ways to communicate. She's already put together actually a promotional piece for Healthy Church Initiative, a video. It's really well done. So that will improve as time goes. So those are the key things for kind of the updates from 2014. So that wasn't just something we said a year ago and then just promptly left it behind.